What if I told you the biggest star in women's basketball might be done with the WNBA? And here's the kicker. Top European teams are reportedly circling, ready to offer her a deal that could change everything. This isn't just internet chatter, folks. Caitlin Clark, the Nomisa, 1 overall pick, the face of a new era in women's hoops, has been ruled out for 6 games after taking yet another brutal hit. Fans are livid, and the outrage isn't just aimed at the referees. It's targeting the entire WNBA. People are saying what we've all been thinking. The league has failed to protect its brightest talent. But the real bombshell? Rumors are flying that elite women's basketball clubs in Europe are preparing massive offers to lure Clark overseas. Could Caitlin Clark, just months into her rookie season, actually leave the WNBA? Let's dive into the injury, the fan backlash, the international offers, and what this all means for the future of women's basketball. Buckle up. This is a wild ride. It all started with yet another dangerous foul. Caitlin Clark, the 22-year-old phenom who's been shattering records and packing arenas, took a hard hit during a recent game. This wasn't just a bump or a typical basketball play. It was a jarring, reckless moment that left Clark crumpled on the court, clutching her side. The crowd went silent and you could feel the tension in the air. This hit was different. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. The WNBA announced shortly after that Clark would miss the next 6 games due to injury, and the news sent shockwaves through the basketball world. Now let's be clear, this wasn't a one-off. Since stepping onto the WNBA court as a rookie, Clark has been a target. Game after game, she's been hammered with aggressive shoves, leveled by hard screens, and knocked down on drives. It's not just physical play, it's something more. Fans and analysts are calling it what it is: a star being hunted. There's a low-light reel circulating online, a montage of cheap shots against Clark, each one more blatant than the last. And through it all, she's kept her composure, kept competing, kept showing up. But this latest injury changes everything. The question on everyone's mind is, how many more hits was Caitlin Clark supposed to take before someone stepped in? Let's rewind and set the stage. Caitlin Clark burst onto the national scene at Iowa, where she became the NCAA's all-time leading scorer, male or female. Her logo threes, pinpoint passes, and fearless play made her a household name. She wasn't just a college star. She was a cultural phenomenon, drawing millions of viewers to women's basketball. When the Indiana Fever selected her first overall in the 2024 WNBA draft, the expectations were sky high. The league saw her as the key to unlocking a new era of growth, and Clark delivered. Ratings soared, arenas sold out, and merchandise flew off the shelves. She was the spark the WNBA had been waiting for. But from her very first game, Clark faced a different kind of challenge. Opposing players seemed determined to test her, to send a message. She was pushed, shoved, and hit with uncalled fouls night after night. Referees, for the most part, stayed silent. No flagrant calls, no ejections, no consequences. It wasn't just physicality, it was a pattern. Social media started buzzing with clips of these plays, with fans pointing out the obvious. Clark was being targeted, and the officials were letting it slide. Some called it rookie hazing. Others saw it as jealousy or resentment toward her meteoric rise. Whatever the reason, the lack of protection became impossible to ignore. As the season progressed, the hits kept coming. Clark, to her credit, never backed down. She kept dropping 20-point games, dishing out assists, and breaking records, but you could see the toll it was taking. In post-game interviews, she stayed diplomatic, praising her teammates and focusing on the next game. Yet fans could sense her frustration. The WNBA, meanwhile, stayed quiet. No statements about officiating, no crackdowns on excessive physicality, no acknowledgement of the elephant in the room. And now, with Clark sidelined for weeks, that silence is deafening. This wasn't just a foul. It was a failure of leadership, a failure to protect the player who's been carrying the league on her back. The moment the injury report dropped, the internet exploded. Within minutes, fans flooded social media platforms: X, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, with reactions ranging from heartbreak to rage. "Where were the refs?" one fan tweeted. "The WNBA doesn't deserve Caitlin Clark," another wrote. Hashtags like Sunshirts Protect Caitlin and WNBA Fail trended for hours. This wasn't just about one play or one game. It was about a season of unchecked aggression, a season of silence from the league. Fans felt betrayed, not just for Clark, but for the future of women's basketball. The outrage wasn't limited to casual fans. Former WNBA players, sports analysts, and even broadcasters joined the chorus. One former player posted a scathing video calling out the officiating as embarrassing and accusing the league of enabling a dangerous culture. A prominent analyst on a major sports network went further, suggesting that some players were motivated by jealousy, resentful of Clark's fame and endorsements. "She's brought more eyes to this league than anyone in years," the analyst said. "And this is how they repay her? By letting her get mauled every night?" The numbers back up Clark's impact. WNBA viewership this season is up 30% compared to last year, with Clark's games consistently drawing the highest ratings. Ticket sales for Indiana Fever games have tripled, and her jersey is the league's top seller. She's not just a player, she's a revenue machine, bringing in sponsors, advertisers, and new fans, from kids to celebrities. Yet, despite her undeniable value, the league has failed to protect her. Fans are asking, why is the WNBA turning a blind eye to its biggest asset? Is it fear of backlash? Fear of appearing to favor a star? Whatever the reason, the silence has fueled a narrative that the league doesn't value Clark or its own future. Now here's where the story takes a jaw-dropping turn. While the WNBA scrambles to contain the fallout, rumors are swirling that top European women's basketball clubs are making moves to sign Caitlin Clark. This isn't just speculation. Multiple sources are reporting serious interest from powerhouse teams in Italy, Spain, and Turkey, leagues known for attracting American talent with lucrative contracts. One insider speaking anonymously to a sports outlet said, "We've been watching Clark's situation since she entered the WNBA. If the league won't protect her, we will absolutely roll out the red carpet." The buzz got even louder when a report surfaced, claiming that at least one European club has already made contact with Clark's camp. The alleged offer? A multi-year deal that includes a salary in the high 6 or even 7 figures, first-class housing in a luxury apartment, private security, a top-tier training staff, and even a personal chef. These perks aren't unusual in Europe, where clubs treat star players like royalty. But for Clark, a global brand with millions of fans, the offer could be on another level. One scout reportedly said, "She's not just a player, she's a phenomenon." Signing her would be a game-changer for any league. To understand why this matters, let's talk about the European basketball scene. Women's basketball in Europe, particularly in countries like Italy, Spain, and Turkey, is highly competitive and well-funded. Clubs like UMMC Ekaterinburg in Russia, though less likely due to geopolitical issues, Fenerbahce in Turkey, and Sopron Basket in Hungary have a history of signing WNBA stars. These teams offer salaries that dwarf WNBA paychecks, often ranging from $300,000 to over $1 million per season for elite players. They also provide a less physically grueling schedule, better officiating, and a culture that prioritizes star talent. For American players, Europe can feel like a second home, or even a better one. This isn't a new trend. WNBA stars like Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, and Breanna Stewart have played overseas during the off-season to supplement their income. Some, like Candace Parker, have even prioritized Europe over the WNBA at times. The reasons are simple: more money, more respect, and less wear and tear on their bodies. For Clark, who's already dealing with injuries and relentless physicality, the appeal is obvious. If the WNBA won't protect her, why not go where she's valued? Let's break down the financial side, because it's a huge part of this story. Caitlin Clark's WNBA rookie contract pays her about $76,000 a year. Let that sink in. The face of the league, the player driving millions in revenue, is earning less than most assistant coaches. Now, to be fair, Clark is raking in millions through endorsements with brands like Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm. Her off-court earnings are estimated at $3 million annually, making her one of the highest-paid athletes in women's sports. But when it comes to her actual playing salary, the WNBA is lowballing her. Compare that to Europe. Top clubs are known to pay American stars anywhere from $300,000 to over $1 million per season, tax-free in many cases. For Clark, a global superstar, the offer could easily be at the top of that range, or higher. And it's not just about the paycheck. European teams often cover all living expenses: luxury apartments, private drivers, first-class flights, personal trainers, even groceries. Players are treated like VIPs, allowing them to focus solely on basketball. In the WNBA, meanwhile, players fly commercial, share hotel rooms, and face relentless physicality with little protection. For Clark, who's now recovering from an injury that could have been prevented, the contrast is stark. So here's the question. If Europe is offering more money, more respect, and more safety, why would Clark stay? This isn't just about basketball, it's about value. It's about being treated like the generational talent she is. Right now, fans are starting to believe Europe values Caitlin Clark more than her own league does. And that's a damning indictment of the WNBA. The internet is a war zone right now. The moment Clark's injury hit the news, and especially after the European rumors surfaced, fans took over every platform. On X, posts with Dr. Caitlin Clark and WNBA were trending worldwide, with thousands of fans venting their frustration. "The WNBA doesn't deserve her," one user wrote. "Let her go to Europe and dominate." Another said, "If she leaves, the league is toast." On Instagram, Clark's posts were flooded with comments urging her to get out or go where you're safe. YouTube reaction videos popped up, with creators breaking down the foul and speculating about her future. Reddit threads dissected every angle, from referee bias to league politics. The fanbase is split, but the divide is clear. On one side, you've got Clark's loyal supporters, millions strong, who are furious at the WNBA. They're demanding better officiating, stricter penalties, and accountability from the league. Many are openly rooting for her to leave, believing Europe would treat her like the star she is. "She's not soft, she's smart," one fan commented. "Go to Europe and thrive." On the other side, a smaller but vocal group argues Clark needs to toughen up, that this is just part of being a rookie. Some even call her overhyped, claiming the attention she's getting is disproportionate, but that argument is losing steam fast. Even her critics can't deny the numbers: the viewership, the ticket sales, the global buzz. Clark is the real deal, and the WNBA is risking everything by failing to protect her. For many fans, this feels personal. They've watched Clark light up college basketball, break records, and bring new energy to the WNBA. They've bought her jerseys, streamed her games, and cheered her on. Now they feel like the league has let them down too. "You hurt our player," one fan posted, "and now we want out." This isn't just a reaction to an injury. It's a reaction to a season of silence, a season of obvious targeting, and it's bigger than basketball. It's a tipping point. So let's ask the million-dollar question. Would Caitlin Clark actually leave the WNBA? On the surface, it seems unthinkable. She's a rookie, a generational talent, and the face of the league. She's spoken passionately about growing women's basketball and being part of the WNBA's rise. She's a competitor who wants to win championships and cement her legacy, but loyalty only goes so far. How long can you stay committed to a league that doesn't protect you? How long can you ignore the pain, the missed calls, the injuries piling up? For Clark, this isn't just about hurt feelings. It's about her health, her safety, her future. The risks are real. This injury will keep her out for 6 games, but what if the next hit is worse? What if it's a season-ending injury or, God forbid, something that derails her career? Clark is only 22, with a decade or more of elite basketball ahead of her. She can't afford to play in a league that puts her at risk. And then there's the business side. Europe offers not just money, but control. She'd have better resources, better treatment, and a platform to grow her global brand. Plus, she wouldn't be alone. Dozens of WNBA players already play overseas, some permanently. If Clark makes the jump, she'd be following a well-worn path. Even if she doesn't leave now, these rumors give her leverage. The WNBA knows it can't afford to lose her. She's not just a player, she's the engine behind the league's massive spike in popularity. Arenas are packed, games are on primetime TV, and celebrities like LeBron James and Taylor Swift are tweeting about her. If Clark even hints at going to Europe, the league will have to act fast. Better officiating, stricter rules, more support, whatever it takes to keep her. Because if Caitlin Clark walks, even for one season, the WNBA could face a crisis. Let's talk about what's at stake for the WNBA. This isn't just about one player, it's about the future of the league. Clark's arrival marked a turning point, a chance to capitalize on the growing popularity of women's basketball. The 2024 season was supposed to be a launchpad, with Clark as the centerpiece. And she delivered, bringing in new fans, boosting revenue, and putting the WNBA in the global spotlight. But that momentum is fragile. If Clark leaves, even temporarily, the fallout could be devastating. Sponsors might pull back, wary of a league that can't protect its stars. TV ratings could drop as casual fans tune out. Ticket sales, especially for fever games, could plummet, and other players might start questioning their own futures. If Clark, the league's biggest draw, feels unsafe, what's stopping other rookies or veterans from eyeing Europe? The WNBA is already struggling with low salaries and limited resources compared to the NBA. Losing its next generation of talent could set the league back years. This injury isn't just a physical blow, it's a symbolic one. It's exposed cracks in the WNBA's foundation: inconsistent officiating, questionable leadership, and a failure to prioritize its stars. If this becomes a trend, if other players start speaking out or leaving, the league could lose its chance to become a true powerhouse. The WNBA has a choice to make: protect the players who are building this league, or risk losing everything they've gained. As we speak, this story is unfolding. Caitlin Clark is sidelined, recovering from her injury, but the rumors about Europe aren't going away. Will she stay and fight through the adversity? Will she use her leverage to force change in the WNBA? Or will she make the boldest move of all and take her talents overseas? One thing is certain, her decision will send shockwaves through women's basketball. If Europe lands Clark, even for a season, it could reshape the sport, proving that stars have options beyond the WNBA. And if the league doesn't act fast, they risk losing not just Caitlin, but the momentum she's built. We're tracking every update, so you don't want to miss what happens next. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and turn on notifications so you're the first to know. Drop a comment below. Should Caitlin Clark stay in the WNBA and fight for change, or is it time for her to go to Europe? Let's get this conversation going. What do you think? This is the biggest story in basketball right now, and we're just getting started. Stay tuned.